Good morning, everyone. This is Robert Breaks YouTube. Coming to you today with a different kind of video. As many of you probably know, today is September 11th. It's been 18 years since the attack on pretty much New York and Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C. If you don't know, or you may not know, I'm actually from New York. So today is a day where, I try to remember, but when I say try, I mean 18 years later, I can still tell you exactly what I was doing during the attacks and shortly after, and just how I felt. Obviously I was in college. I was in my junior year, 19 years old. Happened at 8:46. I was still in class. I didn't find out until I went to my next class, and my professor had canceled class, obviously, and he said it was canceled because of the World Trade Center. Again, I had no idea what was going on. I just figured he took the day off and wanted to go to the World Trade Center. It wasn't until I went to my father's office. So my father worked on campus. He was the director of student development at that point. So I went into his office, and you can tell the amount of stress and just the frantic nature of everything, trying to make sure that this commuter students were safe, making sure that they can get home. If they couldn't get home, provide a way for them to find a way to house them, because I know at that point a lot of the bridges and trains and tunnels were closed because they didn't know what may have happened going forward. I also remember for the next couple days to a week, I know that phone lines and internet lines and internet access was sporadic, because a lot of the cell towers and a lot of the towers they use for internet were housed on the World Trade Center or around there. So I can remember for days not being able to go online and stuff like that, which in hindsight is it's a little thing, but I just remember a lot of chaos and a lot of worry. But then also, on that same note, a lot of people standing together. The patriotic pride in America definitely shone through. Obviously at that point, you were in the heart of the pennant races in baseball, and the Yankees going on to the World Series that year. The big to do with Mike Piazza hitting his home run shortly after 9/11. I just remember the constant coverage. I remember just a sense of not really worry, just because I knew that everything would be alright. But I remember just friends finding out that they lost relatives or friends or family friends. It was hard. It was definitely hard. I remember air travel at that point was, a lot of people were leery about flying. I remember flying out 2-3 months later, and I remember going through Newark, which is one of the airports that one of the planes was taken from, and just not really having to worry, because they had a good presence there, good security presence. I was actually pulled into security In college, I worked with my college basketball team, and one of the bags that was in my possession actually had a, brace yourselves, it had a VCR. If you don't know what that is, you played VHS tapes in it. It wasn't DVD, it wasn't Blu-ray, VCR. And I remember having to answer for that. So security was definitely tight at that point. But, again, for me, 9/11 will always be a day of remembrance and a day of just kind of, I don't know how to word it, to be honest. But it's just a day I always carry in my heart. On the flip side, I will say this: if you are ever in New York or in the city in general, I would highly recommend going to the memorial for 9/11. It is amazing. It is somber, but it's also very informative. Carolyn and I were lucky enough to go there. God, now it's 4 years ago. How time flies. But 4 years ago we went there, and if I remember, I will put some pictures from the memorial at the end of the video, just to kind of show you, around a little bit. But I remember going, and for me, it felt like going home. Then growing up in New York, you saw the Twin Towers. If you took a cruise out of the New York Harbor, you saw them. If you did a cruise to the Statue of Liberty, you saw them. So, they were definitely a big part of New York, and a big part of the skyline. But like I said, today is a day I will, just remember everyone. Can't talk right now. But I will definitely remember what happened on that day. I will definitely remember the people who lost their lives on that day. I will remember all the first responders who, dropped everything to help, over the months and years that, have gone on, and those who have lost their lives because of their selfless acts of helping. I just hope that you guys do too. Days like today puts life into perspective. It's more than just Funko. It's more than just Disney. It's more than just, whatever we do. Today's the one day that I think, just take some time. That's all I can ask, is to take some time to remember those who lost their lives, and to those, to the people who were affected by this, this tragedy and tragedies that have happened since then. But I actually have to get off here because I need to get into work. But again, I will put some pictures of the memorial in after this. Again, I thank everyone who watches this video today, and I will see you on the next one.